Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the story of Yusuf, the brothers come running to their father Yaqub alayhi salatu salam, and they fabricate a story wherein they say that a wolf has devoured Yusuf alayhi salatu salam. Yaqub is not convinced of this story, and he says, "You've done something that you've agreed among yourselves." Yaqub alayhi salam can't prove anything. All the brothers have come with is bidamin kazib. They've come with a shirt with false blood. They've stained it with blood to say that Yusuf alayhi salam has been devoured with a wolf or by a wolf, and they were powerless to do anything, despite the fact that earlier on they said they were strong, young people and they would be able to defend Yusuf alayhi salatu salam. The response of the father, Yaqub alayhi salatu salam, is very, very interesting. He says, فَصَبْرٌ jameel. Thus, there is beautiful patience. Now, Allah knows what you are doing. So, Yaqub alayhi salatu salam can't prove anything. He has a feeling that something isn't right. There's something wrong in this story that his sons are presenting to him. And he's probably very old and he's outnumbered by his sons. So he reclines and says, well, I'll just trust in Allah. I'll observe beautiful patience. Now, I want you to remember something very, very important, because at this point, he's powerless. He doesn't have anything that he can do. Later on in the story, when the truth is laid bare and the truth is now manifest that the brothers were guilty of this crime of killing or trying to kill Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam and the father of Yaqub alayhi salam do not take patience as the rule. So what I'm saying here is two things. When the evidence is not clear, we need to be a bit more cautious. But when the evidence is clear and the person is guilty of the crime, then there's consequences. This is very, very important. The Prophet, peace be upon him, has told us in a hadith, for example, that when you see a munkar, when you see something wrong, you should try and do something about it. Either, number one, you try and stop it with your hands. In other words, you use physical strength to stop the evil from spreading. And sometimes you can't do that. You're not in power, you don't have the ability to do anything. Then you should say something. At least make it clear that you are displeased with what is happening. But sometimes you can't do that, because if you say something, there might be harmful consequences for you. So the Prophet then says, alayhi salatu salam, if you can't even do something, if you can't even say anything, the least you could do is in your heart think of it as evil. And this is very, very important. So it depends on circumstances. But as believers, as Muslims, we should always stand up for the truth and stand up for justice. But how we respond to that depends on our circumstances, where we are, the sort of jobs we have, the involvements that we have. Every believer, as a default, we believe, cares about what's happening out there, the injustices that are perpetrated. So we should always try and speak out when we can. This is the fundamental aspect of Islam. Somebody once asked me, they said, what is Islam? What is the Sharia? Often we see on social media or on the news, people talk about Sharia law as if it's barbaric. It's all about cutting people's hands off and punishing people. Actually, nothing could be further from the truth. The whole Sharia, the whole fiqh, when we really study it carefully, is about entertaining, is about honoring, is about delivering the rights of fellow human beings, what we call huquq al-ibad. So whenever the rights of others are being violated, the Sharia will intervene. And when we're doing contracts, when we're making agreements, the Sharia, the fuqaha, the jurists are always concerned about making sure that all parties are treated fairly. Just think about anything mundane like the imama. The person who's meant to lead the prayer should be appointed by the committee, or if you like, he should be appointed by the qazi, by the judge, or whoever's in charge of the country. And nobody else is meant to lead the prayer except the appointed imam. When a person passes away for a funeral prayer and the imam has to lead the prayer, the first right goes to the imam of the locality. Why is that? The fuqaha say, well, this is the adab that we want to maintain organization, we want to maintain a form of nizam, that people's rights are honored and not taken away from them. This is the beauty of the Sharia. When people get married, there's this idea of making sure that both the husband and wife have freedom to choose, and they enter the contract happily and willfully. When we're doing business contracts, the jurist will always think about making sure that, if they're giving them 3 days to consider about a khiyar, to return something back, there's an idea that both parties are happy with this arrangement. So the Sharia is entirely about honoring the rights of fellow human beings. And we see this, that in the story of Yaqub alayhi salatu salam, when we're powerless, we should still, in whatever way we can, honor the rights of fellow human beings. And I've always said to my friends and my teachers and my students, and I've learned this from my teachers in particular, may Allah bless every single one of them, that we should live our lives in such a way that we never take away the rights of a fellow human being. We never take away the honor of a fellow human being. And finally, my friends, often we make assumptions based on not strong evidence. So Yaqub alayhi salam hasn't got enough evidence to say to his sons, you've done something wrong. So he stays quiet. But once the evidence becomes manifest later on in the story, he doesn't adopt patience. He takes his sons to task in that story. I'll see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The success of our channel is all down to our viewers, people like yourselves. So make sure you like, subscribe, share the content that we produce. And if you really want to support us, you can do financially. The link is provided here, and we'd love for you to be on this journey with us of spreading the sacred knowledge and guiding people to the truth of Islam.